Hey Real.dog Box fam, it is time for another unboxing. This is box number 72. For this month's lineup, we have as our muscle meat, pork heart, lamb spleen for our organ meat, green lip mussels for our seafood, a brand new chew. We've got rabbit feet for our light chew, duck head for our medium chew, beef trachea for our heavy chew, and we've got a pig trotter for our super chew. Let's dive in. For our pork heart we actually rehydrated this for about 10 minutes before we started. As you guys know, we like to rehydrate our treats and chews so that we can show you that they are air dried, not cooked and not dehydrated at a high temperature. Pork heart is a really fun treat to use for training. They break up into small pieces, and when we rehydrate them, they become pretty soft and malleable. For our organ meat, we've got lamb spleen. Spleen is one of my favorite and most underrated organs. If you're a DIY fresh food feeder and you make your food at home, you're probably looking for different secreting organs besides liver to add into your food. Spleen is one of the things you can add on. It's one of the things that you can find in your local Asian or Mexican market. Also a great treat for training. You will find large pieces like this in your box, but make sure you break those up into smaller pieces. They are easy to break up and perfect for training treats as well. For our seafood, one of my all-time favorites, green lip mussels. These are native and sourced from New Zealand. They are called green lip mussels because of the green-blue hue right around the edges that come from the shell. These are a well-known source of glucosamine, but this is one of the things that is kind of interesting smelling and weird for dogs the first time that they have it. It can be, so they might not take it right away. Don't be alarmed if they sort of like try to rub the scent all over their body. They're interested, but they just don't know what it is. So one thing that you can do to introduce this to your dog if it's the first time is break it up into small pieces, just like this. Or you can stick it in your food processor, grind it up into a powder, and add it on top of their meals. For our light chew, we've got rabbit feet. This is a brand new chew with the fur on. They're the back feet of the rabbit, and keep in mind, your dog's gonna be really, really excited to try this, but because there's fur on, you want to make sure to introduce this slowly. Remember, fur is a great source of fiber, so it's gonna help push things through the digestive tract and clean out that digestive system, but you want to make sure if they've never had fur before that you're not feeding the whole thing at once. So you can do this by breaking this in half. There is a bone inside, but it is a very lightweight bone. That's why it's a light chew. You can also just offer it for a few minutes and take it away. But don't be alarmed if you see fur in your dog's poop. It is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. Fur is also a great source of manganese, which is essential to healthy joints. Now for our medium chew, we have duck head. I'll be honest, they're kind of stinky, as are a few of our poultry chews. We air dry these just like our other chews. The reason why I love duck heads is some might consider this a complete chew. So what that means is there's bone right here in the skull, there's cartilage and muscle meat from the beak and the skull, and there's also organ meat, which is what the eyes are made of. And so that's a great source of EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids. You can totally feed this just as is, or you can take it away just like our other chews. For our heavy chew of the month, we have beef trachea. As you guys know, these are my favorite for making cannolis. Lots of recipes that you can find on our social media. I love stuffing this either with a raw grind or with plain Greek yogurt that doesn't have any extra additives, preservatives, or sugars or anything like that. You can mix that up with fruits or veggies of your choice, or the raw grind. Stuff it in there, close off the edges, stick it in the freezer, and that makes for super, super challenging and a new fun chew. And then last but not least, the pig trotter. This is a very, very hefty chew. Each of these weighs about 2.5 pounds before we air dry them, and with all the moisture removed, they're still nearly a pound. So if this is a new chew to your dog, you want to also make sure that you're introducing this slowly. Yes, the toes are in fact edible. They're a great source of collagen, and you want to make sure that if you are going to introduce this in multiple chew sessions, you want to store this in a cool, dry place, not in an enclosed bag. My recommendation is to use a parchment paper and leave it open just like this. Whatever part of the chew is left over between the chew sessions, stick it in the freezer, and then take it out right before reintroducing that chew. And this is box number 72. Happy chewing!